All right, welcome to the 2017 Hawkeye Open from Iowa City, Iowa. We're in the field house of the University of Iowa. Our first match of the day, or first match on the live stream today, is going to be between Jishan Liang and Samson Dubina in the Open Singles Quarterfinals.
Of course, great tournament so far. 24 tables, over 150 table tennis players. I'm Matt Hetherington. I'm joined by Simon Shu. We are right nice and snug here up against table 1, where all the action is happening. We've got 4 quarterfinals all coming up on center court. Of course, the top 2 seeds in this tournament, Bob Chen and Tao Wenjiang, among the highest rated active players in the US at the moment. So their matches will be coming up. We have 4 quarterfinals in a row. Some great table tennis so far throughout the day. Lots of rating events under 1900, 2550.
Yeah, Jishan Liang at the number 3 seed used to be as highly rated as 2710, which would have placed him on the level of Bob Chen and Tao Wenjiang, the top 2 seeds. Yeah, but Samson Dubina, he had to fight his way through the round robin and round of 16 to get here. He beat Felipe Morita 3-0 to set up this match with Jishan Liang. All right, they're about to start. Let's see.
Great start there from Samson. I think we're definitely going to see him really trying to squeeze Jishan into that corner, backhand corner. He's a player you want to keep as far away from that powerful forehand as you possibly can.
Yeah, Samson just did 2 underspin serves in a row, and Jishan put him into the net, or one off the table and one into the net. Both players have very aggressive styles, so expect quick rallies.
Definitely a lot of experience and tactics and kind of strategy from Samson, which will come out here, especially playing against a left-handed player. He's a very thinking-oriented player. We'll see him use a lot of different strategies to try and keep away from Jishan's strengths. So all tied up at 3-3 here.
Pretty close start, 4-4. They're still trying to get a feel for each other's serves at this point. Oh, brutal net there from Jishan.
Can see Samson's taking a lot of different measures to really try and keep that ball into that last little bit of the backhand side for Jishan. Even coming across and playing backhand flip across court, which is not easy.
Yeah, he's really trying to hammer the backhand of Jishan.
I think Samson will be thinking if he can keep Jishan away from his forehand and shut that weapon down, that's the biggest chance for him to really keep this match even or to get ahead. I think as the match goes on, we'll probably see Jishan moving around and playing more forehand.
An unfortunate missed serve from Samson there. Seems like he's Samson's trying to do a lot of underspin serves to prevent Jishan from attacking so quickly. Look at that awesome power in Jishan's backhand, though, right over the table. That was a little high.
Makes very good use of his the angles that come off his left-handed serve to pop up that serve receive, like you saw in those last 2 points there. 11-5, the first game for Jishan. So far, a lot of serve and attack from Jishan. Samson's going to have to really work on his serve receive to keep that ball low, keep the pressure on Jishan. He's a player that once you give him time to move, or you give him a ball that's a little bit too easy, he's going to hit through you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see what Samson will do a little bit differently as the players come back to the table now.
And Jishan with the serve to start off game 2. Not the best start. Slightly too close to the net, the first bounce.
I think he'll be able to bounce back, though.
Seems Samson sticking with his cross-court pendulum serve. It's always a good service to use when you're playing against an opposite-handed opponent. That angle across short to the forehand is difficult to control on serve receive. See Samson doing a great job there of targeting Jishan's transition. Something he would have reminded himself about last night during his coaching clinic. Did a great job, had 40 registered players for the tournament in a coaching clinic. Good way to start off a great weekend of table tennis here in Iowa.
That's right, they usually teach you to hit to a player's middle by default because it's difficult to decide. Let's look at this rally. Sky-high lobs from Samson. That one just
short of the net.
Excellent rally there. Oh, wow. I thought Samson put a good shot there, but Jishan just flicked it really fast.
I was almost going to say that kind of pace and pressure is a little bit better from Samson. Jishan dealt with that really well. I think the coming across and doing the backhand serve receive and trying to play inside out is very, very risky for Samson. So maybe he might have to consider playing forehand receive a little bit more. But doing well here. Game tied up at 5-5. Samson again looking for that transition weakness. But Jishan got him out wide to the backhand first.
And Samson's looking a little bit frustrated there. It seems like whatever he throws at Jishan is just coming back.
Yeah, and you can see that Jishan's really looking to throw off his balance. After he makes that initial ball, he played one rally, he played wide to the backhand. Next rally, he plays wide to the forehand. That's really throwing the balance off for Samson. He's not really able to make a strong follow-up on his initial ball. But still managing to do a good job of keeping this match very close.
Oh, it looks like there was a misread on Jishan's serve there. Jishan is good at serving just half long, like right near the end line. So you have to sort of decide if it's going to come over the table or on top of, or over the table or back of the table. I don't know what's going on with the score here, but it is incorrect.
Nice power play from Samson. He's really going to have to try and take a lot of time away from Jishan when he gets on that forehand.
And Jishan missed that, but Samson just put it a little bit too high. Seems like Jishan is really varying the amount of underspin to confuse Samson a bit.
It's a little bit too passive there from Jishan.
Yeah, Samson's doing a great job tying it up at 9-9. Crucial points coming up next. Let's see what Samson does. That was a little bit. That was a really good short ball from Jishan, and Samson had no choice but to pop it up a little bit high and short, and Jishan was able to take advantage of it.
Great serve from Samson, and we're tied up at 10-10. See what kind of tactic Jishan comes up with here from his serve. Goes wide with the forehand.
Yeah, I mean, you might not be able to see it so clearly on the video, but that forehand is just loaded with topspin. Oh,
and a great way to finish that game. We'll see, as you said before, Simon, Jishan does play quite a lot of half-long serves. So he's looking for that slower, higher opening so he gets a chance, a little bit of extra time to move around onto his forehand. And then as you saw on that last point, very, very dangerous weapon for anyone who's playing against him. But a close showing from Samson. Got it to 10-10. Changed his tactics up a little bit, applied a little bit more pressure, was a little bit more aggressive, and very focused on targeting that middle transition.
Yeah, he's definitely getting closer. So as he's talking to his coach right now, I kind of hope he comes up with some tactics that let him get a game or two at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some very good results in the past against some very highly rated players, and he knows very well. Maybe he doesn't have as much power as Jishan in his game. Maybe he's not quite as quick, but he knows very well how to use what's at his disposal to win points.
Yeah, he can definitely make things uncomfortable for Jishan. Nice recovery from the net there.
Samson on attack. Very clean forehand technique.
Oh, amazing rally there for the looping back from the table. It just seems like Samson doesn't quite have enough power to threaten Jishan back there, since Jishan was able to counterattack.
Yeah, he made a little bit of a placement error while he was trying to tie him up in the corner by bringing it back to the middle. And that kind of gave Jishan the chance to come back in and counter. And really, a player like Samson doesn't want to end up in a forehand countering rally with Jishan. Opting to try out the chop block there. He's using a lot of variation and trying very hard to disrupt the rhythm of his opponent.
Wow, super fast forehand into Jishan's backhand, but it comes back just as fast and catches Samson by surprise.
I think Jishan's kind of settled into anchoring around that backhand corner now that he's realized that Sampson's really trying to pick that area as a target, and he seems to react pretty quickly when Sampson makes that opening ball.
Right, and so now here's for maybe if you could play some mental games by just hitting 1 or 2 to the wide forehand to keep him on his toes.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of occasions where he could have played short to the forehand, and as long as he keeps the ball low and short, it can be quite effective. I mean, the difficulty is when they're serving across this angle towards Sampson's forehand, middle side of the forehand, it is difficult to try and control the ball short to the forehand.
So Sampson's taking a timeout right now.
Good time for it.
He might be reconsidering attacking the backhand all the time, since it seems like Jishan's fairly unfazed by that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it wouldn't, at this point of the match where he's kind of, the game's getting away from him a bit and he's down 2-0 and he's sliding a little bit behind in this third game, he's going to have to look to try at least a few different things. Maybe he steps around and plays cross-court and tries to get a wider angle on the forehand, which, being left-handed myself, I know is not exactly a comfortable angle for left-handers. Maybe he tries to go wider to the backhand first and open up some space, but definitely needs to try out some different tactics.
Well, even though Jishan missed that, the amount of speed he just gets on that is incredible.
He's been playing a little bit kind of half and half so far this match. We've seen him play very passive or quite aggressive. I don't think he's really found his consistency on his forehand game yet. He has missed quite a few of those more powerful forehand balls. But not that one. So 7-5 for Jishan Liang. Sampson doing a good job to win his 2 points off serve after his timeout.
Yeah, Sampson looks like he's talking to himself a little, giving himself some encouragement.
Everything helps. A little bit of positivity. Good to keep himself focused. Remind himself what his strategy is.
Oh, we haven't seen a tomahawk serve from. Oh, and the umpire is now saying that Sampson did not throw the ball up high enough, I believe. I think Sampson just tried a chop block right there that went off the side.
Difficult ball to chop block. Quite a heavy ball from Jishan. Definitely seeing a few more errors from Sampson. Jishan's looking a little more comfortable. Just kind of going through the motions, riding out the point.
It's like Jishan had no idea what kind of spin was on that on that ball.
And Sampson brings it back to 7-9.
It seems like I hope he wasn't too fazed by the umpire warning him on that serve. Looks like he's getting a few points back, almost level. So
he has done a great job so far this match of winning points off his serve. Just struggled a little bit more with the receive.
Yeah, but both players have pretty great mental games. So as we see Sampson tied up at 9-9.
Another long forehand for Jishan. Still struggling once he adds that power to keep his consistency.
That was just a little bit long and a little bit too high, so that Jishan really got a nice forehand attack on that Sampson just couldn't block back.
Great placement.
And that's what I was talking about, to the open wide forehand.
No better time in a match to try something completely different either. So 10-10. Sampson, can he convert off his serve again?
Oh, I see what Sampson's trying to do there, but
Seemed his footing was a little bit out of place on that last forehand.
yeah. Oh, and Jishan converts his game point with a flick over the table.
And another game, 12-10. Very close, but towards the end of the game, it was Jishan who was able to close out the set. Now takes a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and it's really in those crucial moments that really makes a difference between a really high top player and and just a like
yeah, there's a lot of
half amateur, half pro.
Yeah, there's a lot of commitment that you will see from Chinese players, particularly if you watch a lot of the higher level 26 and 2700 level players here in the US. When they serve and they plan out how they're going to respond, they're 100% committed to the next shot. And you could see in the last one, Jishan was kind of planning if that ball did pop up a little bit to his forehand. He was totally committed to stepping in and playing that kill flip.
It's definitely easy to get nervous during those critical moments.
So Jishan will be looking to try and close this match out here. Big backhand.
Yeah, awesome backhand. Super flat there too. Oh, Sampson mixing it up a little bit with that serve and caught Jishan a little bit by surprise.
I've seen him use a lot of reverse so far this game, but it's one of the first times he's played at that angle down the line. Just not quite making the mark with those openings. Great placement down the line there. He's definitely going to have to look for that placement a little bit more often, especially if he can kind of push Jishan into the corner first. But Jishan seeming very comfortable in these small rallies.
Yeah, Jishan he doesn't seem to be just that, he seems pretty comfortable, not that threatened by whatever Sampson throws. He just kind of blocks it back. Here, look.
Wow, great angle from Sampson to finish that point.
I think Sampson can definitely look to attack that wide forehand a little bit more often.
Yeah, and the further he gets Jishan back from the table, the less dangerous that forehand will be. So, very well played to push him back on the backhand side first, then change the angle across.
Oh, that was like a really heavy backspin serve from Jishan that looks like Sampson had a little bit of trouble pushing, or he was seeming a little bit conflicted between pushing or flicking it.
Yeah, he tried to pick it up a little bit too early as well. Seen lots of different placements so far from Jishan. Sometimes cross court, sometimes into the middle, sometimes inside out. He's got a lot of range on his forehand.
Yeah, and a lucky edge there from Jishan gives him a 7-4 lead here. Looks like Sampson's looking for something during this towel break. He's taking a while, really thinking about what he's going to do next.
Yeah, we've seen Jishan get a little bit more ahead in this game. He's definitely showed a little bit more controlled aggression. Lucky back edge there from Sampson.
That's revenge for the earlier edge.
can see he's kind of taken a little bit of pace off, and he's not trying to hit too hard.
Jishan just 2 points away now from, and now only 1 point away from moving on to the semifinals.
Wow.
And there it is.
Stunning finish there.
So we'll see Jishan in the semifinals and finals, or semifinals at least, which are happening with the finals tomorrow.
And we'll be finding out who he's playing against in this block of quarterfinals. Of course, in the bottom half, the other quarterfinal match between Mengling Shui and Tao Wen-Zhang, the second seed. That match will be happening a little bit later on. We also have Tan Ming Xie and Bob Chen, and Zhang Yiti and Rajat Hubli. Those matches all coming up in this live stream.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to see Tao Wen-Zhang because he's a penhold player, and as a penhold player myself, I always like to see people continuing that tradition.
Yeah, it's great to see having Bob Chen and Tao here, players who performed incredibly well at the US Open and in international tournaments. Of course, Tao won the US Open in 2014 in Grand Rapids, and Bob Chen was the finalist last year in Las Vegas. So they know how to raise their game, and they have a lot of experience playing at that high level. So we'll take a quick break here. We have another match coming up very soon. Hang tight on the live stream. More great table tennis on the way. Okay, we are back for the second quarterfinal here at the 2017 Hawkeye Open in Iowa. And we're on the top half now. Of course, the first match, Liang Jishan 4-0 over Samson Dabina. Now we have the bottom half of, well, the top half, second quarterfinal between Rajat Hubli and Zhang Yiche. Massachusetts versus Mississippi.
Yeah, so Zhang Yiche used to go to Mississippi College and had a pretty illustrious career in the National Collegiate Table Tennis Association.
About as good as it gets. 2016 NCTTA singles champion.
Yeah, and he was a big part of the reason why they were able to achieve that. Unfortunately, he can't play in NCTTA anymore because they only allow you to play for 4 years before you're not eligible. And I believe he graduated.
Yeah, it seems like he might be based out of Chicago now. I saw him coaching the Naresh boys. And he was, of course, playing the Edgeball Open last weekend where he made the semi-final. Lost 4-1 to Monteiro from Portugal, the eventual winner.
Rajat had a close round of 16 match against Chan's friend, and he managed to upset Chan's, although there's only a 13-point rating difference between him and Chan's. Fun fact, Rajat used to commentate for Yola.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to have him sitting here with us for this one. Have seen him play on a couple of occasions at the Westchester tournament in New York, Rajat.
Yeah, and that tournament always has a very talented field of players.
Absolutely. Much like this one here. Looks like we're almost ready to get underway.
And once again, we have two forehand attackers. Seems to be the dominant style of play at the upper levels nowadays. Oh, wow. Excellent first point, excellent first rally there. That's a really heavy underspin serve from Rajat.
Big wind up there from Zhang Yiche. He's got quite large swings. Sometimes his strokes look a little bit unorthodox, but plays some incredible shots. There's that big wind up again. You can see his paddle actually comes out behind his back.
Yeah, it's working really well for him. Umpire saying Rajat did not throw the ball up high enough.
Nice opening there from Rajat. Uses a lot of hand speed in his forehand. Slightly shorter strokes. A little more explosive, quick hand speed.
And
the big wind up.
yeah, and he steps around for that one too.
Rajat's going to have to tighten up a little bit. Especially on the serve receive. You don't want to play too many soft, long pushes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did there. And once again, Yiche gets a nice forehand loop on it.
You can see Yichi had a little bit more kind of topside kick on that ball. Very well disguised. Just enough to pop the ball up a little. Great opening and follow-up.
Yeah,
Raja didn't really vary his placement enough there. Kind of went back to the same spot.
yeah, and I don't think he's really used to this kind of power. And even though he was able to get that well wide, Yichi is just so fast on his feet, able to get to that. Right there, Raja just sort of looked like he just wanted to block it back. But the Yichi's spin's just incredible. It's very, very difficult to handle it.
There's that slow, heavy first ball again. Very versatile game. 10-3.
Oh, great recovery from that net. He sort of just touched it over. There's the game, 11-4 for Yichi.
So far, a little bit of a struggle from Raja. Yichi very much in control, especially on the serve, just adding a little bit of top spin kick into his serves. Either looking for that pop-up to play a strong third ball or being a little more patient and spinning through the first ball, repositioning for a strong follow-up. It's been very, very well balanced so far in his approach to this game.
Yeah, once again, Raja is going to have to really do something to avoid that incredible forehand of Yichi's.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to be a little bit more assertive on the return of serve. I think maybe try flipping a few more and looking for a stronger follow-up. And especially when he's pushing, maybe a little bit quicker, a little bit heavier, a little bit more depth.
And especially on his serve too, he needs to avoid being passive, giving Yichi long balls that Yichi will just attack.
Not bad on the opening, but wasn't able to follow up. The tables turned and Zhang Yichi able to counter-attack.
Oh wow, that was great push placement from Raja. Got Yichi a little bit out of position.
Nice placement down the line. You can see the amount of hand speed that Rajat puts into his shot. Such a short stroke.
He got it from really down low as well. Nice forehand from Rajat.
Good to see him being a little more aggressive. Looking for those opportunities to take the initiative. Played very well there, tight on the serve receive.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit unclear which direction that he was actually going to hit that ball, and so Ichi was a little bit slower on his feet.
He's going to have to be careful when he's stepping around, though, just to make sure he keeps his balance. Last couple of balls, he's hit clean winners down the line. Some good balance here. Varying the pace a little. Pushed him back and played softer.
Nice serve that Ichi couldn't get a really good read on. It might have been even a little bit hidden. So it wasn't as much backspin as Ichi expected, and he popped it up a little high.
Just a little too passive on serve receive. You really have to, when you're playing short, angle on that ball instead of kind of pushing from underneath.
And Raja races to a 7-3 lead. We'll see if he can keep it on his two serves coming up right here.
A little bit slow on the feet over that corner. But it's good to see him moving out there. This slightly more aggressive approach has paid off for him so far this game.
Oh, and a service error. Hopefully that won't make the difference in this game, because I have a feeling Ichi is ready to tie it up with his two serves.
Great inside out shot there. Nice serve, nice ball return. Kind of just fading inside out.
Yeah, it was a nice touch shot.
It's got a lot of different variations and combinations of directions and different spin. Kind of put the foot down on that one a little bit too much. Had the placement. Probably didn't need to put too much power into that one. But he has closed the gap here a little. Important serves here for Rajat Hubli. A little bit too soft there on the opening. Slightly shallow. Gave Jung the chance to kind of power into the ball more. He's got to get good depth on the ball to...
Oh, and another service error. Ties the match up at 8-8. You really can't do that against a top player.
Yep.
Because those 2 points make all the difference.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Even 1 point makes all the difference at this level.
This next point is going to be very significant. 9-8 for Jung. And he just steps off that ball a little.
Yeah, it looks like Ichi wasn't completely balanced for that shot.
Going to use his towel break here.
Yeah. Normally Ichi would get a little bit more spin.
Yeah, I felt there have been a couple of balls in the last 5 or 6 where he's tried to power a little bit too much.
Excellent serve from Rajat there that Ichi didn't really even know what to do with. Sets himself up a game point. Let's see if he is able to convert it. Really encouraging himself there. Oh, looked like
Looks
that.
like that just
hit it.
touched the edge.
Yeah, a lucky serve gives them one game. And the match is tied up at 1 game apiece.
Did well there to
I guess that sort of
hold
made
it
up.
together, and yeah, that edge was
I guess
fairly
that,
decisive. I feel like that serve would have worked well for him either way.
Yeah,
even if it had been clean.
it was very since it was very deep.
Yeah, it was fast, deep, well placed. So 1-1 here.
So he redeems himself for those 2 service errors. I think Rajat is really doing a good job of trying to be more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely in that last game. Saw him step around on the backhand a little bit more and switch out and play some more forehand. I mean, even if he's making those kind of slower openings, he's trying to initiate the attack a little bit more and taking that initiative away from his opponent. Basically what's happened is before we would see Zhang Yiche making the first opening and then following up on it, and in the last game Rajat was the one making the first opening, and we saw Zhang Yiche going for quite powerful counters, and he made a few more errors because that countering ball wasn't entirely within his control. Whereas before he had a little bit more kind of control over the ball that was coming back.
Oh, the lucky chop that just hits the back edge of the table there. He had no right to win that point. Now it's Yichi looking a little bit. I don't know what to say. He's a little bit he's making more errors.
Yeah, he's definitely a little kind of uncomfortable as the game's changed up, but
Well, he definitely looked pretty comfortable with that forehand there. Really, he knew it. He looked exactly where he wanted to place that one.
yeah, I mean, if he gets a chance to be the player that has more control over the table and he can choose where he places the ball or how he plays the ball, his follow-up is a lot more devastating.
Yeah, so right there, like Rajat played a really attacking forehand, and then when Yichi got it back, he seemed like he wasn't quite so prepared for the speed, and he just sort of blocked it back a little passively. And even though he won that point, I feel like he can't rely on errors from Yichi the rest of this match.
Yeah, he's definitely got to follow his own game plan. If the errors come, they're going to help him along the way. Right now, we're definitely seeing a few more of them. Some great variation here from Rajat.
Yeah, like Yichi gave him so much pace, and Rajat got it back a little bit shorter, closer to table, and when Yichi was so far back, he had a hard time getting to it. And the variation in Rajat's serve with that heavy underspin is really difficult for Yichi to flip. He just has to work on keeping it short.
And that backswing that we talked about in the first game that was so effective, just hurting him a little bit now as the ball comes in a bit later.
Yeah, Rajat is really good at getting balls that are even below the table and top spinning them just over the net onto the opponent's side.
Great serve and attack there. Everything happened very quickly. Fast topspin serve, backhand down the line. It's a man with a plan. See what he comes up with for his second serve here. And Similar service action, very different spin. 8-4, still a long way to go here if he wants to catch up, and not out of the realms of possibility though, as we saw in the last game. But right now, 2 serves for Rajat Hubli and an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well this game, but even with the 8-4 lead, you're not safe. So it's good to see him not losing focus here and still able to give those heavy topspin serves. You really have to focus to get those.
He's done well to stay very stable, and it's something that he has over his opponent. Again, big swing. Doesn't quite have the accuracy that he needs. Definitely seen a lot more errors this game so far. And that range of being too passive or too aggressive is kind of deepened for Jang Yi-chi.
Yeah, but the defense was also excellent from Rajat. He was going for it.
Yep, he's staying very committed to his game plan. That extra aggression has turned this game around for him so far. Looking for a 2-1 lead here. Game point. Just touches the net.
2 lets in a row. Still 4 game points for Rajat. See if he can just convert one of them.
He's going to be looking to convert one of the next 2 off his serve.
Oh, that was really close to the table, and Rajat the table was in the way, so he couldn't topspin it like he normally would.
Yeah, very well placed. Good length too. I think we might see another fast backhand serve here. Either going to the middle or across to the backhand. There it is, but he was ready for it this time. 10-8 now.
Yeah, I might even consider taking a timeout if I was Rajat here, just to ensure I could take one of the next 2 points.
Might happen. If we get to 10-9, it might happen. He's going to take the shorter option and take his towel break and try and refocus. Great opening there. And there is the timeout.
Oh, I called it.
Good chance here for Jang Yi-chi to visit his service strategy. Will we see him go for the top spin or the underspin? He's kind of stuck to those 2 pendulum serves across the middle. I almost feel like he might go for topspin. It's always a little more difficult when you're under pressure and the ball comes at you quickly. Sometimes it's hard to react.
Yeah, but that's the high risk, high reward strategy to serve fast and long. So in these kind of situations, I feel like most of the top players tend to go with no spin service, actually. No spin or underspin, just to be a little bit more conservative.
Looks like Rajat will take his full timeout here. He's got a lot of things to think about. It's always difficult when you're in the situation and you take a long timeout and your opponent has the serve. Got to wonder about what type it will use. I'm pegging topspin here. Will it happen?
Nope. That was downspin, but he was a lot too. Downspin again.
And a big third ball too.
So 4 game points have come and gone for Rajat.
Definitely going to have to look to make the first opening here. And didn't quite go as long. He's really working to step around that corner, and
that was definitely way shorter than he wanted it to be. Oh, he gets lucky. It's back to deuce at 11-11.
It's a good placement down the line there to stop that big follow-up that he got earlier off the third ball. Learning quickly from his mistakes.
Excellent shot from Michu. Rajat couldn't. It caught up. It came so fast. Only thing he could do was try and chop it back.
Yeah, he's forced Rajat to play a couple of loose pushes. He's got a little bit more variation in his pushing game. Bit of side spin, different angles. Nice block down the line. Really clinging to this game.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if he's still thinking about those 4 game points that he gave up.
I think a player of his caliber would be very focused on 1 point at a time. He's going to know that if he wants to close out this game, he's going to have to focus ahead and not backwards. And
oh, he's actually faulted, I believe, for the toss not being high enough. Rajat looks very frustrated by that. Oh, and he's actually asking for the referee now, Rajat. Umpire has given him a yellow card.
a lot of these situations towards the end of the game where it's juice, it's very easy to lose sight of the service rules. Yeah. Sometimes you kind of go for that serve that's always been very effective, and some habits leak in every now and then.
Yeah, I really can't imagine like what complaining to the referee will actually do, since the match is under the control of the umpire.
And that slow opening gives Zhang Yiche game number 3. Going to be a little bit hard to shake that one for Rajat Hubli. But he's going to have to refocus. Definitely has a chance in this match.
Yeah, he did really well the first part of that game. He got a large lead. He just needs to do more of the same against the next game, and I think he has a good chance.
We saw Zhang Yiche kind of come back to the making slower initial top spins and then taking control of the follow-up. The first half of that game, and even in the second game, thought he hit a little bit too hard on occasion, and maybe when he wasn't in the best position, so seemed to in the second half of game 3 slow down and focus on spinning more and then readjusting his position to make those slightly more powerful shots. And If he wants to win the match, he's going to have to continue with that. Great return from Rajat, but
Yeah, but he
was waiting for it.
Yeah, Rajat has a hard time keeping up his attacks whenever he gets a really fast one back from Ichi.
Looks like he's going to throw in a high toss there. No, just looking up, checking the lights out. Not quite in position there. Just pushed the ball a little bit long, but
Yeah,
good to see him looking for the opening still.
Yeah, it was a great push from Ichi. It was right in the corner, fast, spinny.
Again, a little bit too big. Tends to get very loose on his swing there when he's trying to play with more power, and sometimes he needs to opt for a little bit more control. I think especially when Rajat's making the opening ball, just to find that middle range between being too passive and kind of overplaying the ball.
And Rajat having just a little bit of trouble with Ichi's serve there. I think at this point they've got a good feeling for what each player likes and dislikes.
Great pickup and follow up there. That ball very, very, very close to the edge. Rajat managed to pick it up. Keep it nice and low, heavy spin. And it's 4-4. Lots of small kind of back and forth, point for point plays. Wow. Very aggressive return of serve.
Oh, excellent shot right over the table.
Great hand speed, both the last two forehand winners. Short strokes, but very explosive. And again, Rajat Hubli taking the lead, 6-5. And plays the wide angle.
And once again, Rajat gets a lead, 7-5. He's doing a really great job considering that he's actually rated about 164 points lower than Ichi at 2,600. Right at 2,600, Ichi. Forcing a couple more errors. Gets the 8-5, but the trouble is maintaining that, right?
Yeah, I think still a little bit too much swing on those bigger shots. That was much better controlled.
Yeah, and Rajat has demonstrated that he can get back some of Ichi's big forehands when he's forced to play defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's struggled a lot more with controlling the spin on the slower ball than really on the fast ball. Nice break off the side there. Very difficult to pick up from around the corner.
Yeah, it was
7-9.
It's very short. Oh, that was a surprise serve. And Ichi had all sorts of side spin on there too. It kind of jumped to the side when it hit the table.
Big kick serve, high toss.
Wow.
Great follow-up. Two great serve and attack plays.
And we're at 9-9 once again.
Be very interesting to see if Rajat opts to use his backhand serve again, or if his confidence has been thrown off by the call in the last game. I feel like he might stick to the forehand serve here.
The main goal is to not serve so that it can be immediately attacked. And he does a great job getting that short and low so that Ichi has to push it back.
I think he'll probably look again for that tight serve and first opening. Goes
Great
half
block.
long. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, that was a great game great two serves from Raja. Really clutch at 9-9.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to go half long at the end there. Definitely made for an interesting play. And Zhang Yuche getting pushed here. All drawn up and even. I think he's definitely going to have to take some pace off. Really, really feel like he's doing a lot more than he needs to. I mean, he needs to take a little bit more time to set up these bigger shots, and I think when he goes for those shots, they don't need to be quite as much. You know, I mean, if he's playing at 70 or 80% pace, usually it's enough to put him in control of the point against a player like Rajat.
Yeah, he could just be a little bit more smarter about his placement, and Rajat doesn't have as fast footwork as Ichi does, I think. Can really get him a little out of position, out of balance.
Rajat starts out with a backhand serve. Strong follow-up.
Yeah. Rajat he's always looking to really step around and hit that big forehand. And so
yeah,
maybe
his balance is a little bit strange on the corner. He kind of leans out a little bit.
That's right.
But so far he's managed to kind of adapt his hand stroke to be able to control it really well. Big topspin kick serve there. Nice follow-up. Lucky break off the net. 3-1. A bit of momentum here would go a long way for Rajat Hubli. Imagine the amount of pressure it will put on Zhang Yuche. Rajat caught a 3-2 lead here.
Yeah, going to 4-1 now. And I don't think Ichi is that phased by it. Oh, wow.
I mean, when you're playing at 2-2 in a best-of-7 game, that 3-2 advantage makes a huge difference. So
it does. And
I think now that at least that it's 5-1, he's got to be thinking. There's a lot more pressure. He needs to win a couple of points here. Doesn't want to let that gap spread too much, and now it's 6-1.
Yeah,
Dangerous ground here.
Ichi looking frustrated with himself. It was difficult to handle that really spinny topspin from underneath the table. That topspin loop from Rajat. I don't think he's used to it.
Nice clean setup there.
Yeah, I think he could do that more often, attacking the forehand of Rajat, considering his best shot is sort of from underneath the table, looping it incredibly spinny.
I'd like to see him try a few more serve returns short to the forehand. I think it's been quite effective for him. Right now, he's kind of going towards that backhand corner or a little bit too much into the middle. Especially when Rajat's looking to make that step around. Makes it extra effective when you kind of drop it shorter to the forehand. But again, he goes to that spot. It's kind of become the comfort spot for Rajat. He's making a lot of quite aggressive attacks from there. And
he's feeling a lot more comfortable in Ichi for sure right now.
Well, I mean, he's getting a lot of reps. It's kind of the same strategy over and over again. And
Ichi is happy to oblige a little bit by giving him those.
Yeah, I think from a tactical standpoint, this game hasn't been so great for Jung Ichi. 3-8 down. If he can win a point here and make it 8-4, not out of the realms of possibility for him to slide back into the match. Nice steady play there. Really good to see him when he stepped across, not trying to do too much when he was out of position. I think that's very important for him, to kind of really focus on spinning more when he's not quite in position and really waiting for good balance and good relative position to the ball before he tries to play forward more.
Oh, and that chop, that was like a chop, right? From
kind of a tomahawk, kind of a tomahawk block.
Yeah, I caught Giant a little bit off, actually, I think.
Managed to get great deviation kind of back in towards his elbow. Oh, on a fault.
Yeah, even at 9-4, you really shouldn't be giving those away.
Yeah, I mean, that 1 point can be the start of 3 or 4, and made a good effort to counter there. Didn't quite have the angle adjustments right.
Yeah.
He's pumping himself up a lot. These points so important right now.
Yeah, interestingly, he's saying "allez," which means "go" in French. That was just too high. I think hopefully he's not losing a little bit of focus, hoping to get points on errors from Ichi, because anything of that quality Ichi is going to rip.
Yeah, at this point of the game, you can't rely on errors. If they happen, they happen, but you've really got to look to create opportunities and then take them, especially at this level of table tennis. Oh. Really lucky break there, but
unfortunate opportunity.
Opportunity lost. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When the opportunities come up, and they don't come up that often when you're playing 26 and 2700 players.
Although it can be hard to just tell exactly how much spin is on those that come off the top of a net. Oh,
great cross step there. Again, stretching wide, but not doing too much. Not doing more than he needed to.
Yeah, but that speed was incredible. He just like almost teleported from one end of the table to the other.
Yeah, he does have a very wide stance when he's going across for that wide forehand. But did really well, especially when you push that wide, to be able to bring the ball back cross quarters. Takes a lot of flexibility, and narrowly misses.
I saw Richu smiling at that one. He's almost in disbelief that he missed it.
Definitely had a plan there for how he was going to approach that. See here if he has a equally good plan here for his next serve. Kind of deflected that ball. Just served just fast enough for Rajat not to have enough time to decide whether he would try and place the ball somewhere else. Kind of forced him to play back at him.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they managed to tie it up.
Great backhand opening there. Followed up on the high ball well. And game point here. Another big comeback. Can he convert it? Goes for the high toss again. Having a little bit of trouble controlling the first bounce.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get some really heavy underspin on that.
Oh, topspin kicker there.
Wow. Oh, nice. Excellent forehand. Yeah, with those high toss serves, like, theoretically you can get a little bit more spin because the ball's contacting the racket and the rubber just a little bit faster.
And the tables have turned. It's now game point for Rajat Hubli. Hope has not lost that big lead he had in this game. Has another chance here to close it out, take a 3-2 lead. And clips the net.
Wow. So Matt, just how massive do you think a 3-2 lead is in a best-of-7 series?
It is huge. I mean, especially when you're playing a kind of back-and-forth match. Right now, Rajat has the opportunity just to win one of the next two games.
Right.
Icha has to win the next two games. If he wants to come out of this match, he's got to win the next two games. And the difficulty for him and the pressure for him in that is that he can't give away any free points, because one slight change in momentum or one gap in the game scores that's too big that he can't come back from will basically put him out of the match almost. I mean, he has had two games so far where he's managed to claw his way back, but you can't always rely on that.
Right, and I can imagine Rajat has a bit more flexibility to play a little bit freer, go for bigger shots.
But I mean, also there is a little bit of pressure on Rajat because he has to try and stick to his game plan, and sometimes when you have a lead and you do loosen up a bit, like, I mean, that's a shot that he probably shouldn't miss. I think he was a little bit over-aggressive. And
yeah, that was pretty short. He should have gone a little safer.
So, yeah, he's got to make sure he doesn't get overconfident now that he has the lead.
Yeah, if Icha wins this game and ties it up at 3-3, then the momentum is in his favor. So still pressure on Rajat.
Interesting choice of serve. Pretty loose return.
Rajat's forehand is actually much better than what I expect from a 2400 player.
Well, I mean, he's been rated higher previously, and he's beaten some great players. I think as this match has gone on and he's tried to be a little bit more explosive with his forehand, his confidence has picked up a lot, and especially when he's stepping around, he's generating a lot of acceleration.
Yeah.
Pops that ball up. One thing that you really can't afford to do against a player with forehand that big.
Oh, rather lucky in that.
Becoming a common theme here is
We're seeing a
few lucky breaks for him.
We're seeing a lot more high toss serves from Ichir now too. I wonder what he's thinking of doing with those.
Well, I think when you do high toss and you kind of contact the ball more from the bottom axis of the ball, you can get a lot more late kick on the ball on the second bounce. So I think he'll be looking to get a lot more deviation on the ball and try and force those pop-ups.
Yeah, and a timeout here from Ichir, actually.
And 5-2 for Rajat. This is the kind of pressure I was talking about. Right now, every single point counts for Jung Ichir.
Yeah, and
Even if he comes back now from the timeout and loses 1 point, he's down 6-2, and that's, you know, a 4-point lead in an 11-point game is fairly significant, especially when you're winning 3-2.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ichir really wants to win this. He was seeded out of the round robins of the open singles to go directly to the playoffs here, and so if he loses here, then
Definitely
he'll lose
quite
out
an
on
upset.
he'll lose out on quite a big chunk of potential cash too.
Just a little bit late with the footwork. Good placement. Nice, consistent opening there. And he misses his own serve. Very, very costly at this stage of the match. That's one risk you take when you opt for the high toss serve, is just small timing errors can.
Yeah, because it's falling from gravity so fast, and so your timing has to be really spot on to contact it perfectly.
But came back strong on the next point. 6-4.
Still only a 2-point difference. Definitely recoverable.
Be very focused here on his serve return. If he can shut down 2 serves here and then come back in strong with his serve, could take the lead. And the luck comes back. It's always good to hold on to that belief when you're facing a bit of unlucky breaks. The luck always comes around.
It's too bad you can't actually hit the ball without a racket in your hand.
Credit for trying, though. And goes down the line for a change.
And fun fact, you're allowed to hit the ball with the racket, and you're allowed to hit it on your hand with the racket in the hand, as long as it's below the wrist. So if he actually had that racket in his hand, he could have hit it with his palm, for example, and it would have been legal.
So as I said, 2 good serve returns, and now with the serve, and he gets the net lucky break back with another net, with a net of his own.
I would have been surprised if Ichir wasn't able to claw his way back a little.
8-6 lead here would be perfect for him to fight back into this match. Still going for those high toss serves. Just enough deviation to give that pop up. And 8-6 lead.
I think the forehand, attacking the forehand is definitely the way to go for Ichir.
Well, I mean, when you pop the ball up, generally the first place you go is to guard the point where your opponent would hit the ball the easiest, or where they're most likely to hit. So most people, when they get a high ball, are more likely to attack the back end. So Rajat kind of guards that part of the table if he pops the ball up.
And also there's more table that way because of the diagonal, so it's a little bit safer.
Right. But Jung Ichir's not scared of adding a little bit of risk.
He quickly turns this round to 10-6 and gets a game point.
Not quite able to make the stretch there, but he does have 3 more game points. That timeout, very effective.
Yeah, and Rajat doesn't even have a coach, I believe.
And misses another serve. Couple of serves this game. Still has the lead, but Rajat has 2 serves, 2 chances to take control of the tactical situation. Let's see how Jung deals with these 2 serves.
Yeah, Jung still has a little bit of difficulty with Rajat's serves.
But it drifts half long, makes the pickup. And it's 3-3.
And now it's danger for Rajat, because when it's 3-3, anything can happen.
Love a good 7-set game. Very back and forth so far. First game for Jung, second for Hubli, third for Jung, fourth for Hubli. Very, very back and forth. It was Rajat who broke the trend by winning the 5th game, but Jung Yi-Che has fought back, even from that slight deficit he had in the beginning.
Right, and now in the 7th game, we just have to see who will blink first.
I think it's definitely going to come down to how well Yi-Che is able to return serve. I think he's kind of found his rhythm with serve and attack now, and he's forcing a lot more pop-ups. He's making those bigger balls when he's playing third ball or when he's playing more power. So how he responds to Rajat's serve, which played a very important role in him winning the last game, is going to be a big focus for him coming into the 7th. 3-3, Rajat starting off with the serve. Good pickup there.
Yeah, those are just a little bit too long, and Yi-Che was able to get a good loop.
You can see what Rajat's doing. He wants to try and counter that slower ball, but Yi-Che did a great job of placing the ball just inside the elbow. And again, good placement at the body.
Yeah, I still think that was a great shot from Yi-Che. I still think Rajat needs to serve a little bit shorter to prevent that first attack off the serve.
Yeah, definitely. And as I've said a couple of times in this match, he struggles a little bit more to deal with that slower spinny ball. So he doesn't want to set it up so that he's facing that ball more often off his serve. 2-1 here.
More
Still
high
going
toss
with a high toss
serves.
and another missed serve.
Those can be killer in the 7th. I usually don't see people making this many service errors in one match.
Not at 2600 level, and Rajat got away with one there. Again, the serve drifting a little bit long. It's either a tactical decision or nerves kicking in. As well to keep that one short. Nice step around, steady opening.
Yeah, we've seen him use that pattern of play a lot today.
And Rajat takes the lead.
I think he can look to get a couple more points like that when Yi-Che pushes his serve back long.
Topspin kick. Ball comes back over.
Oh, great job getting that first one back, but Yi-Che follows up, just kills it.
Yeah, I mean, even if he is able to get that first power ball back, still very difficult for him to try and turn the point around. He's really got to work on how he deals with those topspin kick serves. There it is again. Really interesting decision making to see him pushing so many topspin kick serves. I think like even a simple flip towards the forehand corner would really do well for him.
Rajat's still guarding his backhand corner very closely. Oh,
and that's why. And they're going to change ends.
Yeah, you should.
Rajat 5-4 up.
I keep on feeling Yichu should still look to give a little bit more forehand balls just because of.
I think. I mean, there's not much. There's not much deviation on Rajat's serve. It's quite a clean and simple serve, so it's not too difficult if Yichu wants to kind of just touch short down the line.
See, that's what he was trying there.
A little bit risky though. I don't think he needs to flip it. I think like a drop shot or maybe a half long push would do okay. Now 4-6 down. Rajat Hubli looking for that finish line. Is he going to be more assertive on the serve receive?
Oh, surprise fast serve down the line.
With a little bit of underspin too. Great service variation.
And side spin. It's sort of curved toward the side.
And the top spin kick again, proven effective time and time again. And now pressure back on Zhang Yiche.
This is
How does he return Rajat's serve?
This is extremely close. 6-6 in the 7th.
I think he's just done so well on his serve in the last 2 games.
I honestly did not expect this, but...
And another
heavy underspin serve there. Looking to get a long push, I think.
Still see that he was trying to angle across to the backhand, though. I think he's made a lot of questionable decisions on serve receive. Big counter loop rally.
I really think you shouldn't get into a counter loop rally with Yichu if you want to win the point.
What I think has really been more trouble for Yichu on his serve receive is that when he plays that inside out kind of fading forehand push across to the backhand, it's not really heavy underspin. It has a little bit of side, and I think Rajat's been very comfortable attacking that ball.
Yeah, amazing get from Yichu. Almost about to fall over, but he really managed to get that low to give some trouble to Rajat.
So, big point here. Yichu might need that 2-point buffer going onto the serve receive. Tries to go for that inside out fade again. You can see what he's trying to do. He's really trying to get the ball further across onto the backhand side. He's really trying to get it to break the backhand side. Maybe feeling like Rajat doesn't step around enough to get good positioning, but I think it's just proven ineffective so many times that it's really got to change.
Wow. That ball went up into the rafters. Huge point here coming up, 9-8 for Rajat.
If I was Zhang Yiche, I would be looking to go for a kind of cleaner, more direct push, maybe towards the backhand corner.
I think Yiche has all sorts of tricks up his sleeve, though. See that?
Good timing for it.
That's exactly when to do something unexpected.
Very difficult to have the confidence to execute that kind of shot when you've tried it once in this game and almost only once in this match and missed. So
that was almost right in that corner there on the line.
We're going down to the wire, 9-9. He's had a great service advantage so far. Can he continue with that?
Yeah, so he sets up a match point for himself. This game will definitely be only a 2-point margin.
Are we going to see short toss and underspin, or maybe a high toss top spin kick? High toss under. Great pickup. And
amazing match here. Rajat he was playing way above his level, I think.
Zhang Yiche wins in the tightest of margins. Great match from both players. Very well contested from Rajat. I think he played that very well. Kind of grew in confidence as the match went on. Stepped his aggression up, played some superb shots.
Yeah, and I think it could have been anyone's match there.
Definitely.
But as I said earlier, it's really those crucial points that makes the difference between the really top players.
Absolutely. So we are 2 open singles quarterfinals down. Jishan Liang through to the semifinals, and Yiche Zhang after winning that 4-3. Stay tuned. Number 2 seed Taowen Zhang is coming right up in the 3rd quarterfinal against Lingshui Meng. So stay on the stream. Have more great table tennis on the way.
We should have a short break here, and so yep, just stay tuned. Okay, black, red, who want to choose? Black or red? Red? Okay. Red. Sit, receive, or choose side? Okay. Sit, receive, or choose side? Sir? Okay, side? Okay. 2 minutes. Warm up.
Okay, we are back. We have the third quarterfinal. Second seed, Tawanjung, stepping it up. And we've switched out the commentators. Simon's actually stepped down into the court to umpire this match. I'm Matt Hetherington, and I have switched out, and I have Dylan Garland with me, actually one of the organizers of the tournament. Nice to have young faces around. Bring a bit of energy to the commentary. So, first match of the tournament for Tawanjung, who had a bye in the first round of the main draw. Didn't have to play the group stage. Ling Shui, 3-2 against Tung Pham from California, 23-91. So a bit of a tough first round, but sometimes it's good to get that scare in to kind of give you a wake-up call going into your next match. And we have a bit of a style change up here. We've got a pen holder, likes to play a lot of reverse pen hold backhand, and a left-hander. So should be an interesting match. Of course, Tawanjung, US Open champion in 2014. Teammate of Zhang Jike and Shandong. Lots of power on his forehand, great spin on his backhand. While I have you here, Dylan, I'm going to put you on the spot. You can tell me a little bit more about this tournament. About how did the Hawkeye Open come to be? I know this is the third Hawkeye Open.
So, in the past, we've only done 3-star tournaments. And Ming Yu, back in February, when we hosted one of our other tournaments, he brought up to Linda and I that he would like to host a 4-star. And we already knew that we would be in trouble because we didn't have enough equipment and barriers to do that. Lucky for us, for NCTTA Nationals up in Wisconsin this year, we had our university buy 12 of the double fish tables. And along with that, we took 150 barriers.
Which look great. Very uniform out there.
Thank you. And then we also took some umpire tables. And then we managed to get the umpire chair from table 2 at Nationals. And we started to count how many barriers we had, and we realized that we could actually do a 4-star with 24 tables. And we got to contacting people and asking if they could show up. And we got our umpire staff here. And about 2 weeks before the tournament started, we got confirmation from Bob Chen and Tao Zong that they would show up.
Which is fantastic. I mean, the lineup of the top seeds here is really, really good. Not only do you have a large field of players, over 150 players, but to have the caliber of some of the top players in the country, one of which is right down here on table 1 right now, leading 8-5. Great to see such a high-level pen holder here in the US. You don't, as the game's kind of changed and the plastic balls come in, seems you see pen holders less and less. And 11-5, Tao Zhang takes the first game. It's a slight rating difference between the two players. Ling Shui, just over 2,500. Tao Zhang rated incredibly highly at 2734. One of the top players in the USA. So a big challenge for Ling Shui. But nothing's impossible. We just had a great match between Rajat Hubli and Zhang Yiche. Also a similar difference in rating point there. Went 4-3 for the player from Mississippi, Zhang Yiche. Of course, the winner of this match will advance to the semi-final to play Jishan Liang, who overcame Samson Dabina 4-0 in the quarterfinal. Great reflexes there from Tao Zhang. Big power from Ling Shui, but not quite the placement to get the ball past. So Ling Shui coming from Dallas, Texas. Tao Zhang out from California. Players coming from a lot of different destinations around the country. Illinois, Mississippi, New York, Ohio. I came in from New Jersey. Slightly mistimed there. And it is Meng that has a 5-3 lead. Rolls it out down the line. Often the left-hander can have a good advantage against a right-handed pen holder to be able to play cross-court into the backhand. Have to see how the caliber of Tao Zhang stacks up here. 6-4 down. So Tao and Zhang closing the gap. 6-5. Looking forward to seeing how this match pans out, and particularly the next one. Great players to watch, Bob Chen and Tao and Zhang. You got a winner pegged out yet?
I think if Tao can just stick to his game plan, I think that he'll be able to make it into the semifinals and face Jishan. But you never know. Ling Shui could be able to pull the 200-point upset and make it into the semifinals against Jishan. I know that would be unexpected, but it is possible, and it will be interesting to see what will happen.
He's definitely been a little bit more aggressive in this game, playing some different angles. That early head start in game one from Tao and Zhang looked like he was kind of straight off the starting blocks and ready to go. But Ling Shui has put a stop in his tracks. Great serve receive. And a game point. So now 2 serves for Meng. 2 game points. Goes for the soft touch. Maybe a little bit too passive. Had the opportunity to step forward more into that ball, but kind of took a step backwards. And a service return error ties it up at 1-1. So you weren't wrong. Anything can happen. We're 1-1 here, and this quarterfinal, third quarterfinal.
Yeah, I think getting that early match for Ming, early game in the match for Ming, will give him a little extra boost of confidence heading in late into this match, and be interesting now to see if he can rattle some more games off and put Tao in a place that he's not used to.
That's right. There's definitely a lot of pressure, and playing someone who's rated 200 points lower than you and them applying this kind of pressure. So far, his service game's played well in his favor. He's been able to kind of pull Tao across a little and then expose that slightly weaker backhand. Just like that. It's definitely harder for Tao against the left-hander to find as many opportunities to play forehand, which is definitely his dominant shot. Looks like Ling Shui's got a good ability to control the direction of the ball with his hands. Maybe a little bit slower than Tao on his feet. Tao's been able to exploit him at the elbow, playing to the middle. Great touch to put the ball down the line there. Could see that Mengling Shui was around the corner. That was quite powerful. That is a ball you would not want to be on the receiving end of. There is so much power in Tao Wen-Zhang's forehand.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting at the desk and not on the table right now.
I think what's really great about players like Tao Wen-Zhang and Bob Chen is that even though they've come to the US and they're doing a lot of coaching and they're helping a lot of kids, they've always really kind of kept that competitive spirit. They love playing tournaments. They're still very focused on trying to be the best players they can be, aiming for that top spot. And it's made them very, very, very respectable in the world of table tennis here in the US. Well deserved as well. And to have them traveling out here to Iowa, fantastic for the tournament. Fantastic for the people at home watching on the live stream. Definitely going to be some good matches throughout the live stream today and tomorrow. Here we are right now, and it is 10-4 for Tao Wen-Zhang. He's come back strong in this game.
Yeah, it seems as if that second game woke up Tao just a little bit, and he seems to have a little more pep to his step here in this third game.
Definitely, and he's looked for more opportunities to play forehand. You saw even in that last point. Very quick to find that forehand follow-up pairing. So, much like the first game, a little bit of ground to make up for Mengling Shui. 11-4, giving Tao Wen-Zhang a 2-1 lead. So we'll have to see what he comes back with. Tao with the serve, looking to take an early lead here. Oh, just clipped the edge. Great to see a little bit more explosive power from Meng. Being a little more aggressive, forcing the point more. There's another good example. He knows that if he doesn't do it first, Tao's going to be the one converting a lot of points, and he is really going after those more powerful shots. Last 3 points, great. Great stuff from Mengling Shui. Created a good opportunity there. Not quite able to get his feet in position.
Yeah, Ming did a lot better on that last point, capitalizing, unlike the point before that. And playing high-rated players like Tao Wen-Zhang, that's what he needs to do every time. Very few mistakes, and he'll be able to pull off the upset.
Yeah, definitely have to look for those opportunities and try and be aggressive as much as you can, especially when there's a 200-point difference between you. But I think Mengling Shui is a player who might just be able to up his game above your average 25-22 player. So 6-4. Taowen-Jung just small advantage, but quickly growing. Great reaction there to that forehand. Looks like we have a bit of an interruption there. Would be, I think, the halftime buzzer. Unfortunately, not for our sport though. Hopefully that'll get turned off soon. Just one of those things you have to deal with when you're playing in a sports complex. Lots of basketball courts inside here at the South Gym of the University of Iowa. So hopefully in a few moments they'll have that sorted and we'll be able to carry on. So we have one more quarterfinal coming up after this match between Tianming Xie from Texas and the #1 seed of the tournament, Bob Chen from ICC, California. Currently, I believe, the highest rated player in the country. Been a little bit of back and forth between him and Wu Junhan lately. Not sure whether it might be a fire exit problem. I think it might be an exit alarm, possibly. So a bit of an interruption here in play. Always difficult in these situations for both players to keep focused on the match and try and stay warm, keep their joints and muscles moving while these little interruptions pass. Looks like they're still looking for a solution to the problem. So 7-4 and 2-1 for Taowen-Jung, and we have a disruption in play. Might be worth muting your televisions or laptops or computers, mobile devices, just while we get this problem sorted out. Hopefully won't take too long. Some players here not really phased too much, carrying on with their matches. On the tables on the far side. So hang tight, we'll be back in a second once we've gotten through this disruption. So it looks like we have a member of staff down here trying to fix this fire alarm problem, which randomly came out of nowhere and caught us all by surprise. Hopefully that situation should be cleared up soon and we can get back to our match. Right, let's get back to it. Thankfully, that disruption is over and we can, players not messing around here, they're straight back into their match. Tao Wen-jung looking to close out this game to take a 3-1 lead. So, game point, 10-5. That definitely looked like it went up to me. Looks like the umpires are saying it bounced to the side, but Mong-Ling Shui telling the umpire that it hit the table on the top.
To me, that ball definitely hit the top.
Yeah, I think it probably hit the top. But umpires have given the point to Mong-Ling Shui. So Tao Wen-jung is going to have to take another crack at it.
Let's see if
And
Ming-Lu Shui
it's an opportunity here to maybe create a different result. And so far, 2 points converted. Can Tao Wen-jung close out this game? A tight serve receive there and manages to close it out 11-8 to take a 3-1 lead. So Tao Wen-jung able to refocus there and close that game out. Mong-Ling Shui facing a 3-1 deficit against a very strong opponent, one of the best in the US. Not quite able to get his feet positioned for that ball. And a high bouncer there off the net. 4-1 now. Mong-Ling Shui. Good chance here to try and claw back another game. a little bit too far back and a little bit too soft there.
Little cat and mouse game we had there.
First shot, I thought not too bad, but he didn't really kind of come in and try and capitalize on it. And Tao Wen-Zhang's always going to be looking for chances to attack or be more aggressive. A missed opening there from Tao Wen-Zhang. Still, maybe still adjusting to the conditions a little. Of course, this is Tao Wen-Zhang's first match of the tournament, being the second seed. And another slightly slow, heavy topspin ball.
Ming Shui trying to fight his way back into this match here. See if he can repeat the success he had in game 2.
And another service return error. Again, that left-handed service causing some problems. I think Meng Shui's serve and receive this match has been quite a decisive factor. Very relaxed, good touch on his serve receive, good angles on his serve, of course being left-handed. Not everyone's always as familiar with receiving left-hand serves. 8-5 now the lead. Can he win 3 more points and continue this match here with second seed Tao Wen-Zhang? Gets in a nice forehand there, but Tao was almost sitting there waiting for it. Good to see him trying to take the initiative there. Spotted the serve was maybe drifting a little bit long. Good opportunity to take control of the table.
And Tao has fought his way back from 4 points down to tie this up. Let's see if he can close it out now.
It's going to be very interesting to see how he approaches serve receive here. Nice smooth motion there. I think he didn't put too much pressure on himself with his serve receive. It was almost a little bit soft, a little bit high, but he obviously felt confident with his follow-up. Much better on that one. Good serve receive puts him 2 match points up. And kind of almost fakes it, plays it a little late. And 11-8, 4-1. And Tao Wen-Zhang moves on to the semifinals, where he will play Lang Jishan. So we have one more quarterfinal coming up between top seed Bob Chen and Tianming Xie. Promises to be another good table tennis match. Stay with us. We will be back shortly with the last open singles quarterfinal.
Bob, I'm gonna look at your rack. Alright, so you wanna pick? You wanna pick? White or blue? White. Blue, so do you wanna pick service? Or you would like to serve? Okay, which side do you want? So this side? Okay. So 2-minute warm up. Oh, can I give you the one?
Okay, we are back for the last quarterfinal match. And the first appearance in this tournament, the 2017 Hawkeye Open, supported by Paddle Palace here in Iowa, of our top seed, Bob Chen from California. Of course, Bob Chen, last year finalist at the 2016 US Open in Las Vegas. Put him into the top ranking spot in the country. 2766 rating. He's a very, very, very consistent and calculated player. Good, solid technique. Doesn't really overpower the ball too much. And he will play Tianming Xie from Texas, left-handed. Closer to you on the camera. Just rated over 2400. So far in the bottom half of the draw, Tao Wen-Zhang through to the semifinals against Jishan Liang. And waiting for the winner of this match in the top half semifinal, Zhang Yiche from Mississippi. So Bob Chen starting off with the serve. Unlike the other players that have come in the quarterfinals before him, Tao Wen-Zhang, Zhang Yiche, Liang Jishan, all huge forehand players. Especially when they get that loose pop-up off the serve receive. Bob Chen is a little more kind of calm, very go with the motion, kind of roll through the ball contact. Usually goes for great placement and will hit a lot of balls to win points. Taking the early lead here, 4-1. Of course, a lot of pressure in a match like this for Tianming Xie. Quite a significant underdog by rating. And figuring out how to win points against a player who is arguably the best active player in the country. Not an easy task.
Yeah, he's got a tough task ahead of him. High mountain to climb with this one. Seems like this first game is going in Bob Chen's favor here. See if Tan Ming can reset and start game 2 off in a different way.
There you see that well-placed ball. Gets a very good balance of consistency and power in his game. Really a player who doesn't risk too much when he plays. He does enough to win, maybe a little bit more, but he doesn't really take huge risky shots like some of his teammates and opponents who are already through to the semifinals. Biggest weapon for Bob Chen, reliability. Very, very steady, very reliable game. So 10-4 here. 6 game points for Bob Chen. And a big forehand from Tan Ming Xie, but it comes back, catches him a little bit off guard. And game 1, 11-4 for Bob Chen. So the top seed off to a great start in this quarterfinal match.
Like you said it, Matt, Bob had incredible placement during that first game. Tan Ming couldn't really do anything about it, didn't have his feet set, and was nowhere close to many of the balls that Bob placed.
Yeah, I think one of the difficult things about when you're playing someone who's so reliable and so consistent is that it's very hard to find gaps in their defense. And it doesn't really matter whether Bob's playing more passively or a little bit more aggressively, whether he's blocking or countering or attacking, everything's very, very well controlled. And he's been able to beat a lot of good players. Even I remember when he first came to the US, had 2 incredible games with Eugene Wong from Canada, a 2800 player. Right down to the wire. Lost both in the 7th game, but just his ability to compete at that level, even without having an overwhelming amount of power, really just shows what differences can be made by good placement and great control and good spin on the ball. Good placement there from Tan Ming. Found a gap in the defense. Goes for the long serve. Controls the first return well, but Bob Chen able to get in position and take the ball out a little wider. And a missed serve there. And a 5-1 lead for Bob Chen. It's incredible to see such a dominant display from a player who doesn't really look like they're exerting themselves too much.
Bob seems very relaxed still, late into game 2, 6-1 lead.
I think it's one of his big advantages to be that calm and collected. Really helps his technique and mechanics kind of flow on and be very fluid.
It's hard to say with Bob's emotions, but it seems like he's having fun out there at the moment. Seems to be excited to be here in Iowa for our first 4-star tournament.
I've never seen a Chinese player complain about winning, so I'm sure he's enjoying it out there. Definitely he'll be looking forward to trying to battle his way into the final and contest for that top spot. As I was saying in the last match, Tao Wen-Zhang, Bob Chen, very, very respectable players who've come here and given a lot to upcoming young US players as coaches and training partners, but still very committed to trying to compete at a very high level and playing tournaments, and something very admirable about both of them. So 11-3. Bob Chen takes a 2-0 lead. And the pressure is on Tianming Xie. It's very difficult. I mean, when you play the first two games and you've kind of found so many difficulties, and maybe you kind of lose sight of how you win points or whether there's any way, possibly. It's a real big confidence drain. I mean, when you lose the first two games 4-3, where you find your confidence, what kind of strategy can you find to play against a player of this level? A little bit more acceleration there. Again, very good placement to the elbow. And finds the elbow again. As I said, very reliable. And changes things up, pops it out wide. Really impeccable tactics and almost flawless execution.
There have been very few errors from Bob Chen during this match so far, and placement seems to be the biggest factor in his 2-0 game lead.
It's the first time this match we've seen Bob really throw some weight into the ball. Really asserting his position here, 6-0. And the ball is way up, catches the top edge. Tianming is on the board. That long, fast serve. Really trying that left-handed angle. Usually when you serve cross-court to the wide forehand, it helps you cut off that angle down the line. But as we saw in the last match with Ling Shui Meng left-handed, and now this match, Tianming left-handed, that same service has not stopped Bob Chen and Tao Wen-Zhang from taking that shot down the line with an incredible amount of confidence. So 9-1. Nice steady opening on that half-long serve. And it's 10-1. This game has flown by. And takes the pot shot on that one. And it is 3-0 for Bob Chen. For Tianming Xie, the struggle continues to try and find some ideas. Really have to focus on one point at a time and just try and create opportunities. One very difficult thing against high-level players, and a piece of advice that I received before going to my first World Championship: you have to create opportunities. Against players of this caliber, very, very rarely do you get handed an opportunity to win a point. So for Tianming Xie, the big challenge, how you create those opportunities against a player like Bob Chen. Very reliable, very steady. And first point, creates an opportunity and takes it. Love the service follow-up. That kind of inside-out fake. Another great point off the serve there. Very bold counter-attack there.
A much better start for him, definitely, this game. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Again, not bad. Seems to have more, kind of trying to play with more confidence off the serve receive. It's definitely that first foot in the door of the point. And if he can be more assertive and more decisive on his serve return or his follow-up from serve, then has a better chance of converting some points. We have a level situation here, 3-3. Couple of promising points from Tan Ming-Xie. Good first attack off serve, but possibly not the best placement. And Bob Chen takes the lead.
That 350-point rating gap really starting to show itself here mid-game in the fourth with Bob up 3-0.
Seven, 4. Bob Chen still very commanding in this match. Great for those watching on the live stream. Maybe players who aren't able to hit the ball quite as hard or don't have as much power. Still a lot of ways that you can win in this sport by playing smart, placing the ball well. Bob Chen, one of the best examples of using the weapons that you have and combining them in different ways. Paired with a huge amount of control and a great finish for him. It's Bob Chen, the top seed, and very dominant display here in his first match of the tournament, the quarterfinal, against Tan Ming-Xie from Texas. So Bob Chen will advance into the semifinal to play Zhang Yuche from Mississippi. Stay tuned. For more table tennis action here at the Hawkeye Open. So, Ling Shui Meng wins the 5th place match along with Samson Dabina. Both 5th equals, so they take away some prize money. Stay on the live stream. We have the junior final coming up in a little while. So, still a few more matches here on the live stream. Don't go away.